Welcome back to Publicized Theory Podcast. We are officially 4 episodes deep. It's officially 1 month in the PT. For all of you who are tuning in, I hope you had an amazing week. I hope you have an even better weekend. This episode really cuts deep for me because there were times where I did not keep the same energy with myself. I did not show up for myself until I had to take full accountability and actually begin to show up for myself. Whether that's taking my health seriously, whether it's taking my finances seriously, whether it's implementing the time to do things that I know will benefit me and get me right. Keeping that same energy really hits home for me, and I know it will for you too, because we all are a part of things that take up so much of our time, whether it's working a job, whether it's being there for family, whether it's being there for friends, whether it's just doing everyday life things that by the time you know it, the end of the day is here and we feel like we did not get anything done. I know it. I've been there. And sometimes that's me to this day. But at the end of the day, what it all boils down to is, how are you showing up for yourself? How are you putting in the time and the effort to show up for yourself? And what are you prioritizing while you are in the midst of doing everything that it is you're doing? Many of us listening right now, we have a job. We have to be somewhere on Monday or whatever the day is, and we commit a certain amount of hours of our time to that specific job. How are we committing hours for ourselves? How are we showing up for ourselves? And how are we dedicated and committed to doing that for ourselves week in and week out, when a bag isn't associated with it, when a bi-weekly isn't necessarily associated with it, when something isn't hitting our account to pay us for our good deeds or our commitment to ourselves? It's very difficult. It's a concept that flies right in the face of quid pro quo. I do something and I get something in return. But a lot of the things that revolve around us really falls into the category of delayed gratification. We won't really see the results right away. We won't really see our income grow right away. We won't really see the results that we're looking for right away. But that does not mean the impact isn't felt day in and day out. That does not mean the impact will not have a lasting impression on our life. And with that being said, I wanted to talk about a concept that I read in a book, concept that I think we all can learn from in terms of how it is that we become more financially free, more free in general, and just have the opportunity to have ultimate freedom in the things that we do and the places that we go and the people that we work with and the arenas that we play in. What do we need to control in order to have the true freedom, and why keeping that same energy is so important? Because it directly relates to us having the freedom that we want, us being able to do the things that we want, and us being able to impact everyone around us when it comes to being an inspiration and changing the dynamic of the lives of the people that we care about the most. I remember reading in a book a concept called the Freedom Multiplier. Now, essentially what that is your freedom multiplies the more W's you control in your life. Now, those W's are what you do, who you do it with, where you do it, when you do it, why you do it, and where you do it. Now, the more components that you control, the more freedom you will have. Now, I bring this up only to say that we all can achieve those 5 W's and ultimately get the freedom that we want. It will require us to keep that same energy, though. It will require us to show up day in and day out. It will require us to give it our all, even when we don't want to. Who you do it with, why you do it, where you do it, when you do it, where you do it, that will multiply our freedom the more we're able to control those 5 W's. It's just a great concept on understanding how can we achieve the freedom that we want and what do we need to control in order to have the most freedom. It's not easy to leave a job that is giving you a certified set of income on a monthly basis that you know you need to survive. So it's easier said than done from picking up and leaving. But at the same time, there are many things that we can do to position ourselves in the future that will allow us to get to the freedom multiplier. Now, I know most of you are sitting there like, honestly, I just need to get to the bag and then I'll have all the freedom I need. The moment I get to having the money I want, financial freedom, I'll be just set. But a lot of the W's are a part of the process in terms of getting to that financial freedom. If you're able to work from home, if you're able to control those elements and hopefully secure income while doing it, that is the process in which you are creating financial freedom. And It's those elements that through time will multiply your freedom overall. But how do we get there? How do we become free? Free from the job, free from financial instability, free from the things that are not allowing us to get to where we want to go. That's begins with us. That begins with showing up each and every day. That begins with ensuring that you put some sort of boundaries in place that allow you to get yourself back up, that allows you to pick yourself back up when you're not doing your best. It's almost like audits. How are you setting boundaries? How are you setting guardrails that'll help you in times when you're at your lowest? You have to keep that same energy. You have to look at the output that you're putting in other areas that really don't benefit you outside of securing that paycheck. How are you showing up for yourself? If you're able to show up for an 8 hour shift, 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week, however many hours you are putting in at whatever job you have, can you step back and say, am I showing up for myself the same way I'm showing up for the job that I have now? If the answer is no, it's okay, because I've done it. I haven't showed up for myself in the 29 years that I've been here all the time. No one's perfect, but at the same time, how serious are you and how committed are you to achieving the goals that you have? And I just wanted this episode to be about keeping that same energy. We're approaching, well, no, we're actually in the second month of the year already. 1 month has passed. How have you kept that energy in 2024? How have you maneuvered the first 31 days of the year? How have you aligned yourself with the things that you want to happen? How have you positioned yourself in a way that 10 more months from now, you can look back and say, yeah, I did that this year. We're already 2 months in, and time waits for no man, time waits for no woman. So keeping that same energy Monday through Friday or Monday through Sunday, with it already being 1 full month into the year, is very, very crucial. And I think we all have opportunities to slip up, and we all will slip up. We all will fall short on some days. That does not mean that we cannot still position ourselves to get at least 1% better each day. You cannot look yourself in the mirror and say, I put in 40 hours a week for this company, and then in the same breath say you can't give yourself an hour or 2 hours a day or whatever the time is for that one activity that solely benefits you and you only. You know what those activities are. For many, that's the gym, that's meditating, that's journaling, whatever it is that allows you to decompress, whatever it is that allows you to harness the skills and the talents that you have, or the craft that you're trying to perfect, or whatever it is that you are trying to get better at. Because as the year goes by, you will get tested. Obstacles will present themselves. Hurdles will present themselves. Things will become tougher. And accepting all of that now and making the commitment now to yourself in the fact that whatever is coming my way, I'm ready for it and I will overcome it. Because as you get closer to what it is you want, things will become tougher. Things will get harder. Things will challenge you in so many different ways. And being able to realize that it doesn't always get easier, but you get stronger. It's more about accepting what's to come and being ready for it when it arrives. It won't be easy the rest of the year. There will be ups, there will be downs, there will be moments where you're literally probably scratching your head, like saying, why me? Why now? Why this very moment when I'm already dealing with so much? But your tests are really your testimonies, and your mess in the end becomes your message, because those are the things that build your story. Those are the chapters in your life that you go back and say, yeah, I remember back in 2024, I set out this crazy goal. People thought I was delusional. People didn't think it would happen in the time that it did, but it happened. And that's because I kept that same energy. That same energy that I had when I wrote it in my journal. That's the energy that I was giving it when I was working, when I got off of work and got straight to it, because I knew in my heart that I was going to make it happen regardless. It was a by any means necessary approach. So as we're 2 months in and as we're thinking about how this month and how this year has flew by, or is flying by rather, remember that the obstacles are coming. Remember that it will get tough. Remember that you have what it takes to get where you want to go, but you just need to keep that same energy throughout the process, throughout these struggles, throughout the obstacles, throughout everything that is coming your way that is meant to derail what is already for you. This is, in a lot of ways, what you have to go through to get what you want. The 1% is the 1% for a reason. Now, some can say, yeah, well, connections played a huge role, or growing up with this played a huge role. And yeah, that all may be true, but why can't it be you? Why can't you be the first millionaire? Why can't you be the first successful streamer? Why can't you be the one who's making 5 to 6 figures on YouTube? Why can't you be the one to change the family dynamic and break the barriers that previous generations in your family have not been able to break? It could be you. So moving forward throughout the rest of the year, as we're 2 months in, remember, keep that same energy. Stay the course, stay focused, stay disciplined, and remind yourself every day why you're doing what you're doing. And sometimes it has to be bigger than money. It has to be bigger than the bag. It has to be something that sometimes is intangible. You have to sometimes look your mom in the eye, look your family members in the eye, and feel their struggle and their pain, and understand that you may be the chosen one. You may be the one to change not only your life, but everyone's life around you. And that why in itself is extremely powerful than the bag. We know the bag is there. We know the bag will get secured, but it's the impact once it is secured that means so much more than the zeros in the account. And not only that, you give other people hope. You give other family members hope. You give friends hope. You give the people around you inspiration that when they're feeling down, when they're not in the right state of mind, they're able to tap into your frequency and say to themselves, yeah, I need to keep that same energy. Anthony's doing it. Why can't I? If Anthony is doing it, why can't I? I'm a normal person. I'm just as normal as you. This episode was really more so about keeping that same energy and understanding that you have what it takes and accepting everything that's to come, knowing that it won't be easy, it won't be smooth, it won't be a journey that's anyone can go through, but you're built for it. Thank you for tuning in on this Friday. Thank you for rocking with me for the last 4 weeks. If this is your first time tuning in and tapping in and getting a gist of this frequency that PT is offering, thank you. It's much appreciated. You are a day one. And for those of you who continue to tune in every Friday, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you thoroughly enjoyed this episode, if you really liked what you heard and the content resonated with you, please don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Have an amazing weekend ahead. And until next time, stay safe, stay blessed.